Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo, a decluttering coach specializing in at-home wellness. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to declutter one of the most cluttered, overfilled places in our homes, your closet, specifically your wardrobe. I don't know about you, but I used to have a ton of clothing. I was literally somebody that if I saw sale, right? I would be like, oh my God, yes, I need this. And I don't know. Let me know if you can relate, but at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that I would buy, whether it was on sale or just because it appealed to me in that moment, I would never wear. So it got to the point where I had overfilled dressers, overfilled closets, and it was literally filled with a bunch of stuff that I would never dare wear. And for me to even locate and find things, right? Like you open up your dresser drawer or your closet in the morning, you're trying to get ready for work or for the day or whatnot. I would find myself wasting a ton of time trying to locate a t-shirt or, my favorite pair of jeans or whatnot. And it would be incredibly super frustrating. Have you ever had that moment where you literally open up your closet and you're just staring at it? You're just frozen. And then you kind of scratch your head and you're like, I have absolutely nothing to wear. Meanwhile, the entire closet is bursting at the seams. It's the most ridiculous conundrum ever. Really feeling like you have nothing to wear when you own hundreds of items of pieces of clothing. So I used to feel that way a ton. A lot of it had to do with I would have to say compulsive shopping habits. And a lot of this had to do with my upbringing. I kind of grew up poor and I had a very lack mindset. So when I was able to, when I got my first job and I was able to finally start buying things for myself, I just, oh my goodness, I became addicted to having a different top and a different pair of pants and just I don't know, I just felt like having all of those things somehow provided value and gave me more confidence and boosted my self-esteem when in fact it really did not. Actually having a ton of options made me feel overwhelmed and anxious. And I really didn't like wasting my time trying to figure out what to wear. And at the end of it all, putting something on my back just because I was already running late and I had to make it out of the house. And I never truly felt comfortable and confident in what I was wearing. And all of that changed when I decluttered my wardrobes. This came as a result of me having to downsize. And in New York, our spaces, our apartments are small and our closets are almost non-existent. So I had to downsize and I was kind of looking on the internet, how do I even do this? I've always been so used to, and this is, mind you, this was a long, long time ago before I even knew what decluttering was. And I was like, how do I even do this? And I stumbled on Project 333, or rather back then it was capsule wardrobing. And that completely just, oh my God, it blew my mind. And I remember hysterically laughing. Even when I read about Project 333 and it was survive on 33 items for every season. And I literally went hysterical, to the point where you're laughing uncontrollably and you're on the verge of passing out and snorting. That was me, because I was what normal human being, right, that leaves the house can possibly survive on 33 items? And fast forward 2 years later, I probably survive on less than that for every single season. My closet consists of about 2 dresser drawers, which is mind-blowing. So if you're hearing this and you're like, Margo, you're crazy, I thought I was going to be crazy too. I thought it was totally wild. And the purpose of today's podcast is not at all to tell you to be a wardrobe minimalist. I don't ever dictate what somebody should keep or toss. I think that if you're somebody that wants a different purse to go with different outfits and you wear all those purses and those shoes and those outfits, then keep it. I think that clutter-free is absolutely incredibly subjective, and whoever's telling you otherwise is just wrong. That's what a statement, right? But clutter-free, I work with a lot of clients. Some of them are minimalists. Well, some of them transition to minimalism. Some of them continue to be a maximalist. But the end result is whatever you end up keeping in your wardrobe, if you love it, you keep it. I mean, if you love it, you wear it and it makes you feel good, then even if it's a ton of different clothing, then go for it. Doesn't matter, right? When we talk about decluttering our wardrobes, or rather the need for any kind of decluttering that we're doing in our house, it's because something's wrong, right? Something about how much stuff we have is frustrating us, right? There's cause for concern. You open up your wardrobe and you're feeling overwhelmed. You've probably had a few moments where you were like, I have too many things, or I can't find anything. And that is frustrating. But the point is, you're not in love with your closet. You're not in love with your wardrobe. You're not in love with your clothing. And you should be. You should 100% be in love with every single item in your wardrobe. And this is why I capsule wardrobe, right? I literally own about no more than 7 t-shirts. I'm not even joking. And they all look the same. And I'm a content creator on social media all the time, literally wearing the same thing over and over again. And I don't care, because my confidence has been built because I'm wearing clothing that fit me, that fit my body, that make me feel proud of who I am as a woman. I look in the mirror every morning and I was like, girl, you look damn good. And that's not how it used to be. And that's not how it was until I decluttered my wardrobe, and specifically until I started capsule wardrobing. And also, just a caveat before we kind of jump into the actual steps to decluttering your wardrobe and how you're going to go about doing this, but it took me over a year to downsize my closet. So I just want us to have realistic expectations. Decluttering takes time, and I'll cover this more in the episode, but there are a lot of items in our closet that can cause us to feel emotional. There are items that we have, for our past self. Maybe, 10 years ago, before you had kids, or, developed a chronic illness, or maybe mental health. Maybe you weighed less, or you were at a more comfortable weight, and maybe you've gained some weight, yet you still held on to that clothing. And, that clothing is toxic for you. Whenever you encounter that shirt that's maybe a size 2 or a 4 or 6, and now you're maybe a size 10 or a size 12, that item is shaming you. And I want to kind of really pause for a second there. We are allowing inanimate objects, such as a pair of pants, to shame us, to remind us that we used to look a certain way, right? Kind of the past self. And I think it's really important to focus on our real selves and our selves today. And we're going to talk about kind of ensuring that whatever items you keep in your wardrobe, they match your lifestyle and they match who you are as an individual, that beautiful, authentic person that you are today. But in our closets, we have a lot of past self items. We have a lot of fantasy self items. I encounter this a lot. And again, I used to be guilty. I giggle because I used to be guilty of this. I can't tell you, I held on to a patent leather pair of red pumps, kid you not, for 15 years. 15 years. Did not wear it for 15 years because I was holding on to my past self. The past self that used to travel the world and was unattached and, wasn't married, didn't have kids, didn't have responsibilities. She was just so light-spirited and whatever. But it's that's cool, but that's not who I am today. And I love who I am today. And I struggled with finally letting go of those red pumps. So we want to ensure that the closet, the wardrobe that we have today fits who we are. And most importantly, fits us. It fits you. You put it on and it's not making you feel uncomfortable, and it's not pinching you in all the wrong places, and it accentuates your beautiful curves or whatever. It just makes you feel beautiful. You're going to hear me say this a lot. I am a promoter of having a wardrobe of only feel good items. So to the point where how you've nailed it is that you can essentially close your eyes, open your closet or your dresser drawer, and you can pull out an item of clothing, a shirt, a romper, a dress, or whatever, and just put it on and feel good wearing it, right? With your eyes closed. That is beautiful. I cannot express to you how magical it is to have that kind of closet. I mean, like the decision fatigue is just absolutely not there. Doing laundry is like seamless because you just don't own that much stuff. The only one caveat I will say is because I'm such a wardrobe minimalist, if I don't do laundry on a weekly basis, I'm not even joking, me and my daughter have absolutely nothing to wear. Sometimes my mom will make fun of me and she'll be like, Margo, I think you overdid it with the wardrobe minimalism. Listen, this kind of stuff happens too. And it's very rare that I'm like, oh my God, I have absolutely nothing to wear. There's usually something I can put on my back, or at least it'll like, it's like a kick in the tush to like go down to the laundromat. So today we're going to cover how to specifically declutter your wardrobe. A lot of the clients that I work with, they hire me for in-person or virtual closet decluttering specifically. This is how out of hand our wardrobes can become. And it's interesting because most of my clients will come to me and be like, Margo, I want to hire you to help me organize your closet. And I was like, show me your closet, right? Virtually or in person. And the first thing I'll ask them is like, do you wear everything that's in here? And you guessed it, every single one of you beautiful women will tell me, no, I probably only wear 20 to 30% of what's in there. And I'm like, okay, so we're not organizing. So I want you to be mindful that if you are somebody who's just like, I just need to organize my clutter better. Clutter. Wow. I just need to organize my closet better. No, we declutter first, we then clean, then we organize, then we maintain. It's a system I call decom. So declutter, clean, organize, and maintain. That is the process that we follow, right, to achieve that clean and tidy space. So today I'm going to talk about how to specifically declutter your wardrobe, and then I'll probably do a follow-up podcast episode where I'm going to teach you how to organize your wardrobe, which is, by the way, easier than you might think. So some statistics, just to kind of drive the point home, is that we wear 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time. So what that means is 80% of what's currently in your closet does not get worn consistently. Right? I'm not talking about the few outfits that you, hold on to, 2 or 3, like perfect cocktail black dress. I feel like every woman should have one. That you hold on to in case you have an event. But I'm just saying some of those pants that you bought because it was that time of the month and you were just like, oh, I don't know, I think I might wear this someday. Okay, that item probably still has a tag on it. Like we've all been guilty of that, right? Just kind of stress shopping or time of the month shopping or anxiety shopping or just, oh my goodness gracious. But the point is, a lot of the items in there you don't wear. Some of them you've never worn. A lot of them you'll never wear or will never wear again. And like I said, I encounter this a lot with my New York beautiful clients. I mean, some items still have their tags on them. And my favorite thing as a decluttering coach is when one of my clients goes, ooh, I didn't even know that was in here. And I'm like, yes, then chances are you probably don't need it. Like you've lived the last 2 years without knowing you had it. Chances are you can probably continue to live without it. So we wear 20% of our closet 80% of the time. So if you're somebody who's thinking like, oh, I mean, there isn't that much to purge. Trust me, there's a lot that you can purge, definitely. So before you begin to even declutter, and don't miss this step, before you begin to declutter, you really want to identify your style. What do you wear every single day? Are you a nurse and you wear scrubs 5 days a week, right? Do you wear loungewear every day? Is there, is it work gear, exercise attire? Like, what is your style of clothing? And if you want a detailed play-by-play of the various different styles and what's included in that style to help you identify what your current style is, I have an entire podcast episode about that, and I will link it in the show notes. But in general, before you begin to, declutter your wardrobe, first decide like, okay, what are the items that I'm wearing most frequently, right? If what you wear most frequently is loungewear, right, or casual wear, like I wear casual wear. I am very much jeans and a t-shirt, jeans and a sweater. Like this is probably 90% of what I wear, to the point where even if I'll go out, I will wear the same jeans and t-shirt, but I will essentially swap out like Converse or Converse or slippers for a pair of boots or a pair of pumps. So really kind of connect to what your lifestyle is. Connect to what you wear on a daily basis. One of the best ways, if you're kind of just like, Margo, I'm stuck, I don't know. One of the best ways is right now, walk over to your laundry hamper and see the clothing that's in there, right? Chances are your lifestyle and what you wear all the time is being represented in what's in and out of the laundry. So that's a good way to gauge what your style is. So if you wear a lot of sweatpants or a lot of tights, or, if you're more jeans and like a t-shirt and a leather jacket like me, that should be 80% of your wardrobe. So as you begin to declutter, and I'll go through how we actually declutter our wardrobe, as you begin to declutter and you're encountering items such as like a yellow romper, right? Or you're decluttering, or you are, encountering a pencil skirt or a blazer, things that you never wear because you wear like jeans and a t-shirt all the time. Well, it becomes easier for you to make the decision of whether or not to keep or let go of the item. Now, with that said, I'm not saying only hold on to like what you wear on every single day. If you have a favorite dress that you might wear, or if you have, whatever it is, you are more than welcome to hold on to a few items for special occasions and events and date nights and whatever. What I'm trying to say is that shouldn't be the bulk of your wardrobe. The bulk of your wardrobe should be clothing that you wear every single day that fits you, your lifestyle, and of course, that you feel good in. So identify your style before you even open up your wardrobe and start taking things out. So now let's move on to how do you actually declutter. So I'm a big, huge promoter of having a decluttering plan. Whether you are decluttering your wardrobe or your kitchen or your bathroom or your beauty supplies or your garage, attic, you name it, there should be some kind of game plan. Without a game plan, it's very easy to kind of start and stop. The decision fatigue is like so there and present. It's also easy when you don't have a decluttering plan or like a to-do list. Think of it as a to-do list. It's also very, very easy to kind of stop and procrastinate. It's just so much simpler if we just take a few minutes and we create a decluttering plan. So what does it mean to create a decluttering plan? What that means is you start with identifying where you keep your clothing. So for some of us, it's just one closet, in which case that's it, done and done. But for some of us, we have multiple dressers, we have a walk-in closet, we have an entryway closet, we have another closet, another dresser. If you have your clothing in various places around your house, then you would literally on your decluttering plan, list out each one. So dresser 1, dresser 2, closet 1, closet 2. This will not take you more than 2 minutes, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to systematically tackle one wardrobe area at a time. You're not doing it all at once. I discourage it. I mean, if you want to and you want to run a marathon, right? And like invest like 5 hours into just massively overhauling and decluttering your closet, by all means, go ahead. In my experience, we usually tire out and we're not doing a very, very good job. And it can be really exhausting, both emotionally and physically. So my recommendation is something I like to call bite-sized decluttering. And it's basically where you go one section at a time. And this could be, I've had clients that, let's say had 2 dressers and 1 closet. And they decided to start with 1 dresser to the point where we even niched it down to 1 drawer at a time. They weren't even doing the entire dresser all at once because there's just a lot of stuff and it was overwhelming. But you can go 1 drawer, 1 shelf, 1 dresser at a time, whatever you feel comfortable with. So decluttering plan, what am I decluttering? Break that up into smaller, more manageable sections. And then, and this is super duper important if you want to be successful, is you want to pencil it into your calendar. Are you going to declutter once a week, twice a week? Is this going to go on for 2 weeks, for a month, for 4 weeks, right? Pencil it into your calendar so that you know this is how we overcome procrastination. So you know that like every Sunday between 11 and 12, I'm decluttering my wardrobe. It's a wonderful habit to build. And I would even say take it a step further and set alarms. I know this podcast episode is not about habits, but I will say that new habits are very difficult to build. It typically takes between 30 and 90 days. So alarms are a great way to help you with that, because chances are if you're like, I'm going to declutter every Sunday. Sunday rolls around and you forgot because you haven't made this a habit. But if you literally have an alarm that goes off on your phone that's labeled, let's say, closet decluttering or decluttering, because you're going to continue to do other areas of your home, it really, really helps out. And the other thing I want to say about just like frequency and duration of decluttering, it's less about how long you spend decluttering and more about commitment and consistency. So I have clients who have ADHD who can only do 5 to 15 minutes in a sitting. I have clients that just prefer to work in 15 to 20 minute increments. So if you want to commit, you can say, I'm going to declutter for 15 minutes. And then if you decide to go over, well, guess what? Those are bonus points. What I see happen in the beginning a lot is that we will overcommit to how much time we can actually invest in the process. So what that means is you'll be like, I have clients that come in and on day one, when we do our like one-to-one coaching call, they're like, Margo, I'm going to do 2 hours a day. And then they're able to sit through like 40 minutes and they don't complete the 2 hours and they feel incredibly discouraging. Right? And that kind of, that puts a kibosh on the motivation. You're better off starting with smaller increments and working your way up, as opposed to being like something astronomical, like an hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours, and then only being able to do like 20 minutes. Then once you kind of identify what area you will be starting with first, and by the way, for a detailed, like a step-by-step, I have an incredible masterclass on how to create a decluttering plan. And this is something that you can do for your entire home. It is exactly the blueprint that I use with my high ticket one-on-one decluttering clients, and it literally walks you through step by step, comes with a beautiful workbook on how to create a decluttering plan for your entire home, including your wardrobe. I'll leave a link to the masterclass in the show notes as well. So now that we've kind of created a decluttering plan, we know exactly where we're going to start. We know that we're going to do like one drawer or one section of a closet at a time. It's time to roll up our sleeves when that alarm goes off and start decluttering. And typically when we declutter, we create 3 to 4 piles depending on your preference. So usually it's keep, toss, and donate. I know that when it comes to our wardrobes, a lot of the wonderful women that I work with, they also choose to sell some of their items. So if you're somebody who's going to be selling some of your clothing, then you can also do keep, toss, donate, and sell. So those are your 4 piles. And then there are really 3 major ways that we do this. You can go by category, you can go by section, or you can do a clothing dump. So what that means is by category would be a little different than going drawer by drawer. So for example, if all of your pants are in one area, you would like go through all of your pants. And then you would go through all of your tanks, and you would go through all of your bodysuits, and you would go through all of your t-shirts and all of your bathing suits. It would depend on how, I guess, quasi-organized your stuff is now, right? If you're somebody who has just clothing all over the place, I would honestly just go one dresser drawer or one section of the closet or one shelf of the closet at a time. But if you have some type of order to your madness, meaning you're keeping all of your pants together, all of your shirts together, even though you have an abundance of it, but at least it's all in one space, you can go by category or you can go by section. And I love the idea of the clothing dump. So what that means is you essentially take out that one dresser, you dump it on your bed, on the floor, on the couch, wherever, and you sit down with your clothing and you go one item at a time. One of the benefits of going by category is that if you can, because again, something to consider, decluttering is a process. Decluttering is never a once and done approach, contrary to popular belief. So chances are the first time you declutter your wardrobe, you're going to get rid of 10 to 30%. The second time, the third, the fourth, the fifth, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. So just to kind of alleviate some of the pressure around how much you should get rid of, you can go as atomic or as gentle as you would like. Just know that this is not the last time you're going to be decluttering your wardrobe. The purpose of this is to kind of get started and get kind of acclimated with who you are and what your lifestyle is and what you wear, and kind of really get rid of a lot of the items that don't serve you. So once you choose either by category or by section, right, you take it all out. you have it all in front of you. Again, by section, by category is fantastic because you can actually see like, hey, I have 37 pairs of pants. I only have one butt. Why do I need 37 pairs of pants? You know what I mean? And a lot of times my clients will be like, oh my God, I have 3 pairs of the same pants. It's like, true. And if you love them, having 3 pairs is perfectly fine. But if you didn't love either one and you have 3 pairs, you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Right? The point is take out, a chunk of clothing and you want to go through every single item. There are going to be items as you're decluttering where you're like, this is a clear keep or this is a clear, get rid of. And when I say get rid of, I imply, toss as in trash or donate, whatever works best for you. So there are going to be items where you're like, it's a 100% yes, I wear this item every single day. There are going to be items where you're like, oh my God, this is maybe like missing a bunch of buttons and the zipper is broken. It's a no, or it has holes or it's stained or whatever it may be, right? And then you're going to have a lot of items that are like in between. And this is why at the beginning of this episode, I really truly emphasize that it's important to identify your style because it'll help you make that decision where you'll have like maybe items and there'll be a lot of them. And then you can be like, okay, I don't wear skirts and I don't wear dresses. Do I really need 10 of these? Right. And if you go back to your style, right, if you're a casual wearer or a lounge wearer, you could be like, okay, maybe I'll keep 1 dress and 2 skirts and I can kind of let go of the rest. Some questions to kind of ask yourself with those maybe items is, have I worn this item in the last year? Does it match my current style? Another really good one is, would I buy it again? I share this story because I used to work more like corporate-ish, I would have to say, but I always felt like my closet should consist of a bunch of dress shirts and blazers, which, by the way, between me and you, I almost never wore. I would wear dress pants and like a sweater. That was more me. That was as like work attire as I would possibly get. But it's been years and years and years since I've worked in a type of setting that required me to even periodically put on a dress shirt and a blazer. Like, why in the world, when I started decluttering my wardrobe, did I have like 15 dress shirts and like 5 blazers? Ask me the last time I wore a blazer or a dress shirt. It's like, kill me. I don't want to ever wear it. It's not for me. It looks great on some people. I admire it. It's just like, I want to physically rip out of my skin. So my point is, you're going to encounter items in there and you should ask yourself, like, would I buy this again? And if the answer is no, then let it go. Another very important question, which is why I think that as you're decluttering your wardrobe, it tends to take a little bit longer because especially with those undecided items, you should really put them on. Like, I want you to hear me, try them on, right? Get in front of a mirror and try on the thing. Don't just be like, I see the shirt or the sweater. Oh, I don't remember wearing it, but it probably still looks good on me. If there's like probably is present, put it on. You're already doing the work. You're already investing the time in going through every single item. Take the extra minute or 2 and actually try the item on. And if it fits good and it fits in with your lifestyle, then keep it. A lot of times, it's not going to feel good. It's not going to fit good. And you're going to be like, this doesn't even look good on me. Where the heck in the world would I ever wear this? Okay. So don't leave it up to kind of just this like fantasy self drifting of maybe, or the just in case mindset of maybe I'll wear it. Put it on, see how it fits. If you love it, feels good, you're going to wear it. Cool. Keep it. If not, let it go. And then basically you're just going to follow your decluttering plan. So if you committed to once or twice a week or even once every 2 weeks, again, depending on what your schedule will allow, just stick with it until you literally go through every single article of clothing. And then I want to make sure that you celebrate, right? I mean, it is incredible. Anytime you're decluttering anything, you should be celebrating. This is positive reinforcement. It's something that propels us to continue doing the work or maybe extend to other areas of our house. But essentially, one drawer, one category, one section at a time, one item. And then lo and behold, before you know it, you're going to have closet doors that close and dressers that aren't like bursting at the seams. And it's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. Now, again, when it comes to clothing, we're naturally always going to bring more clothing in, right? This is just, we're women. We love to shop. Not only that, trends change, seasons change, items sometimes, we wear them out, so we replace them. This is why I'm a firm believer in the 1 in, 1 out rule. I practice this like literally religiously. If I purchase a brand new sweater, I will get rid of a sweater. Know that if what you're after is a clutter-free wardrobe, achieving that is going to take time. It's going to kind of happen in phases, and you never know. You're going to maybe love it so much that like maybe it's not going to sound as scary to you to like capsule wardrobe and be a wardrobe minimalist. But I'd love for you to experience the freedom of having less clothing. I'd love for you to experience the joy and just how incredible it is to never have decision fatigue, to never say, I have nothing to wear, to literally just like smoothly open your dresser. There's a way like when a dresser's really heavy, it's like dun, 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 as it's freaking opening. I want you to experience when your dresser drawers open so beautifully and light, and there are only a few t-shirts in there or a few tank tops, and it's just so easy to pick the one that's on top, open a different drawer, take out a pair of pants, put that on, and that's it. You're done, right? This takes literally like 2 minutes. It's absolutely incredible, and you can 100% get there. And lastly, I want to offer 2 pro tips. Pro tip number 1 is something that I call like the 1-second declutter, and this is so incredibly powerful for your wardrobe. And this keeps your wardrobe clutter-free. And it's, if you have a closet, put a decluttering bin in your closet. So what that means is every time you open your closet and maybe you take out a sweater and you're like, okay, I don't want to wear this. I don't like the sweater anymore. Instead of doing what we typically do, which is take the sweater and put it back in our closet, only to take it out again 3 weeks later. Instead, you take that sweater and you put it in the decluttering bin. And you're going to continue to do this one item at a time every time you encounter items of clothing that you don't want to wear. And eventually, when that bin gets full, guess what? That's it. That's your decluttering bin. So you take it and you either donate it or toss it or do as you will. But it becomes so seamless because you don't actually have to sit down and go through your clothing and declutter it. It's just like, hey, this item no longer fits my lifestyle or me or whatnot. That's it. Boom. Put it in the decluttering bin. And another pro tip, and this really only applies after you've done a massive decluttering overhaul, and it's one of the keys to maintaining a clean, tidy, clutter-free closet or even other areas of our house is maintenance. And I find that with wardrobes, and this is something that I still do today, I do seasonal maintenance. So for example, right now the summer is coming to an end. So, soonish, I'm going to be swapping out the summer clothing for the fall clothing. So what I will actually do is I will go through all of my daughter's summer clothing and my own, right? I don't have that much to go through. It's like 5 minutes. But either way, like I've built the habit, and I teach this to all of my clients, is to build the habit of doing a seasonal declutter. So a season is ending. You're about to get ready for the new season. Go through the existing season's clothing and get rid of what you don't need. The reason why that is so important is because right now you know exactly what you've worn and what you didn't, versus having to wait until next summer, right? Right now it's fresh in your head. Like you know that you wore these bathing suits or didn't, or these shirts or these shorts or whatever it may be. So take a few moments and do a seasonal purge and really kind of get rid of everything that you don't need, so that when the next year rolls around, you're like, I know everything that I've kept, I'm going to wear. It also gives you insight into maybe something that you need to buy. So maybe you're somebody who's like, none of these bathing suits fit anymore, and you declutter them. Then you know that you need a couple of bathing suits to purchase for the next time summer rolls around. So a seasonal purge is so wonderful. It saves a ton of time, and it's a wonderful, incredible practice. It's a wonderful habit to create, which keeps your wardrobe and your closet clutter-free. All right, so I hope this podcast episode motivated you, or hopefully, like many of my listeners say, Margo, we just have you in our earbuds while we're, doing the Sunday cleaning or decluttering. So I hope that this episode motivated you to walk over to your dresser drawer, even if it's a sock drawer, and kind of just dump it all out and start decluttering. As always, thank you so much for listening. Good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourselves.